Today we're flying Asiana from Tokyo to Gimpo and then Incheon to San Francisco. For the first flight, we'll be taking their business class. For the second one, it'll be their business Smartium product. We'll walk through our entire experience, including their flagship lounge and a big mistake we made. Big favor before we dive in is to hit the like button if you like travel. If you're new and want to be more informed for your trips, then consider subscribing.
For the first leg of the journey, we're flying from Haneda to Gimpo. It's a pretty short flight, about 2 hours, but it was the same price booking this economy or business for the short haul, so it made sense to do business. It is a 222 configuration and not really much privacy, but there is a ton of legroom and also a ton of space. If you are on the wider side, I'd recommend taking the outside seat because there's a lot more room to man spread. This is me sitting proper, this is me relaxed, and this is me like slouched. Yeah, like there's plenty of room. I think if you're under 6'6", you can't really complain, or you're probably going to be fine at least. The only semblance of privacy is going to be a little divider between the seats. Not the biggest divider by any means, so Mandy can actually close it up, and that's pretty much it. And still see her. Hello. They do provide a few amenities, so slippers, not the thickest, but also not the thinnest, kind of in between, so decent, and also some headphones. Headphones are for the flight, and you have to return them afterwards. Let's open them up. Headphones are by Phantom, or Incheon. Wow, I think I read that as Phantom. Incheon. I've never heard of this brand before. They also do provide you with what I think are ear pads as part of it, but I am very confused now. Yes, ear pads. Just a little scrunched up. Let's switch into slippers and continue the tour. TV is on the older end. You can kind of actually even see the pixels, but that's fine, especially for a short haul flight. Again, and the legroom is going to be the big winning point. Cup holders right over here, and you have a storage area right over here. Also, actually a few more storage areas down here, which I think might be for shoes. So let me try that. Okay, I think that is for shoes. There are a ton of settings for the seats, so you can add more lumbar support, move your leg rest, and a lot of the usual suspects. Handset is going to be down here, and the plane is showing its age and kind of wear and tear. That's pretty much just dirt. Also, in case you're wondering, we are flying on the A330-300. In terms of headrest, you can move it left to right. So left, right, and up, down. A lot over here, and yeah, a lot of wear and tear. So just older products. One nice thing though is that there are some plugs down here, so USB as well as the headphone jack. It is standard USB though, not USB-C. Okay, we're about to take off. Let's take a look at the movie selection. It's to Hollywood. Movie selection actually isn't bad, so it's all kind of the new stuff. Joker, Beetlejuice, Alien, no, not bad. Pretty much consistent of most other aircrafts that have new movies out. I've definitely had worse, so no complaints here. Nothing more or less done the seat tour other than the tray table, which we'll show later when the food gets here. So even though it's just a 2-hour flight, there is a meal. You didn't really have too many choices. It was either porridge or chicken over rice. Ended up going with the chicken. They also did pass the menus like super fast, and they're like, which ones do you want? Like I think we had the menu for less than a minute. That was interesting, but that's fine. I guess they want to get everything up and ready to go given how short their window is to serve the food. Here's Mandy. I'm probably going to enjoy the takeoff, eat the food, and then take a quick nap after. Also, is a convenient hook right over in the corner for my jacket that's on my lap, so probably should stick it on there. Okay, we're up in the air and now waiting for meal service.
Yay.
Mandy's napping. We just flew over Tokyo, but yeah, it's always kind of crazy how sprawling it is. Like, you know Tokyo's big, but when you look at it from up top, you're like, wow, there's a lot of people here and a lot of city. Like, you zoom in, you see giant buildings still. It's kind of crazy. Let's relax for a bit and wait for the food. Oh no, my legs are too heavy. Oh. Wow, that's kind of jank. Definitely is an older school seat, but still decently comfortable. So Mandy's gonna open up the table for us. You know, pretty straightforward, but it works, functional. You also can push it forwards and turn it. That's if you need to get up or if you want some legroom. Lunch is served. Let's take a look at what we got. So there are a few breads you can pick from. I picked a croissant because I figured why not. You also have a salad, some fruits, and then the rice and chicken, and then I got a Diet Coke. I also asked for coffee, but they said that's after the meal. All right, let's start with the croissant. Oh, pretty flaky. I think I accidentally put some flakes on the floor. Unintended. A bit too flaky for my taste, but really buttery. So the inside doesn't have chew, it's also pretty flaky inside. But it is tasty and kind of reminds me of the one from Costco, but in a good way because the Costco one's pretty good. Let's try the salad. It's going to be Italian dressing. Got my coffee. Very watery looking coffee. So that's a little interesting. Yeah, a bit watery, but I guess scratches the coffee itch. I, of course, don't have a coffee problem. Salad's pretty normal, and I suddenly realized I haven't had Italian dressing in a very long time. Let's try the chicken. Pretty overdone. I feel like they should have sous vide it or something. Yeah, pretty tough. Flavors are okay, but a bit weak on that end as well. This is the rice. Rice is rice. They also do provide a sauce, which is gochujang sauce. Sauce is pretty strong, but good. Let's try this chicken with sauce. I think it helps a bit more, but it's just not a strong base to work off of. Last up is the bowl of fruit. Pretty good fruit. Let's try the kiwi. Kiwi looks pretty nice. Really good fruit. So the fruit and the croissant are the highlights. Salad's not bad, just pretty normal. The main is a little iffier though, and yeah, not the best. I still will finish it though because it's not bad, it's just not great.
Are you okay with the main enough to eat a second portion though?
I'd probably just eat your chicken. I don't think I'm eating your rice. Passable, it's like the baseline. Okay, are you actually not eating yours?
There's like a weird aftertaste. Like, I know when you have like frozen microwave dinner and then you taste the frozen or the fridge taste.
Okay, I guess I'm having double chicken.
Side note, let me know if you want a full breakdown of how you can book this flight with points, and I'll write a post and put it in the description box. On that note, if you want to learn about cards to get points or miles, and you want to support the channel, we have links on the website asksebby.com and also down below in the description box. Make sure the links are competitive, but otherwise, it's a huge way to support the channel, so thank you in advance.
Ended up making it from Gimpo to Incheon. So the reason for the Gimpo leg was that way we could repack the alcohol from duty free, because if it was straight through Incheon, then we'd be out of luck and they generally make you toss it out. Since it's an airport change, you have to enter Korea, repick up your bags, meaning that you have a chance to repack them. Ended up calling the most expensive Uber, which was their black car service, and apparently that doesn't necessarily mean a bigger car here. It was a full-size car, but it was still a bit tough for ski luggage. We somehow made it work and it was fine at the end of the day. Also, driver was super accommodating, so that was awesome. I actually was expecting him to cancel and that would have been fine given the nature of the situation. But yeah, probably should have just went up to the taxi counter and picked up a van, which would have been maybe a bit more, but that's fine. Once we made it in, we were able to drop off our luggage because the counter was open. Since it is one of the major airlines, they pretty much have a permanent counter, compared to some other airlines that maybe only have a few flights a day, and their counter might only open 3 hours before the flights. So everything's settled, we're in a good spot. It is currently 2:46, our flight's at 8:50, so we have quite a bit of time. We're currently at a Korean restaurant, and let's give a taste test. I ended up getting the kimchi stew with pork and also bulgogi. Let's try the beef. A bit tough, but good flavors. Kimchi stew. Kimchi stew is really good. Yeah, feels like I haven't had a good authentic one in quite a bit. Let's taste Mandy's. That's really good. That's like tendon stew. Super tasty. Wow. Also feels very healthy. Let's take some of her tendon. Ironically better than some places we've been to in San Francisco that cost $20-something for the same item, and this lunch was $12. Obviously currency difference, but still pretty good.
Pretty good. Not bad.
Not too bad at all. So if you do want an authentic Korean meal, airport upstairs from the check-in area, from the departures level, or from above the departures level is pretty solid. Also, depending on the price you're looking for, you have a ton of options. They have a fast food version as well if you're not looking for restaurants. I would opt for the soups because then the soups are a lot more solid, but just depends on you and the restaurant. Gonna finish this off and see you inside the airport, and we're probably doing some shopping. Pre-programmed ones which are right over here, and you can change the intensity. I figured if I was going to do it, might as well do the maximum. And yeah, it's just one of the programs. I don't know how to change to English, so maybe I should have done that first, but it's fine. Oh, there we go. I did the RoboCare. Then I think I did the hamstring relaxation, which explains why it has me propped up like this.
After eating and clearing immigration, we decided to do some shopping. Since we had a long connection here, we decided to walk off lunch and check out every single duty-free store here to see if they had anything interesting. If we didn't already have 4 good bottles in tow, we'd maybe pick up one. But nothing really jumped out as a crazy deal or as a hard to find option. Incheon is a beautiful airport and a great walk though, so no regrets there.
There are 3 lounges, central right in the middle when you get through immigration, east and west. Right now we're in east, which is known as one of the bigger ones, and it is super spacious. Tons of seating options, very wide open space, seats are pretty wide apart, so it does feel pretty roomy. The vibe and ambiance is also pretty nice, given the chairs and how the lighting is set up. But yeah, it just looks pretty fancy, like a fancy night lounge. One disadvantage is the food. On first impressions, the food doesn't look that impressive. It's like chicken, some veggies, and soup and stuff. I did get some to try and we'll do a taste test, but it's nothing too fancy. My plate also ended up very orange. So I got orange, I got the chicken, which I think is kind of like orange chicken, pasta, more pasta, and french fries. Very orange and red plate. Okay, let's try the chicken. Kind of almost looks like a chicken nugget. That's not it. It's like deep fried chicken in a sauce that sat around for a while. Let's skip that one. The salad pasta. Interesting. I don't think I like that either. Yeah, it's really weirdly acidic. Like, I don't know what pasta sauce or dressing that is. Very strange. French fries. Kind of like soggy fries. And then the spaghetti pasta. That one's not bad. Pretty light flavors, but it works. Mind you, it's still like a 6 out of 10, but it's more passable than other ones. There also are instant noodles as well, tons of options there. So I think a lot of people prefer that, and if anything, that's actually the more popular option. Yeah, like I feel like most people are going for instant noodles. The other main draw is to drink and also get some work done and relax. So yeah, tons of people just watching movies on their iPad with headphones, or yeah, typing out work, printing stuff, or taking a nap. And a few people getting plastered on the other side and just enjoying themselves. So the main draw is less about the impressive food and more about the vibe and the fact that you can also leave your stuff around and it's generally safe. I actually left this while I walked to get something because I forgot a fork and it was fine. We might check out the Central Lounge afterwards if we have time, and also the Singapore one. Singapore one is supposed to have better food, so I'm excited for that one. Mandy is currently taking a nap though, and I might take a shower. We have about 3 hours left until the flight. Didn't really go into the city or anything given timing and luggage and stuff, but yeah, shower doesn't hurt. In case you're wondering, we are flying on the A350-900. It is a pretty big plane, which is nice, and I like that they don't have luggage areas in the middle, which keeps the whole cabin pretty wide open and spacious. Even if you're someone that's claustrophobic, you're not really gonna feel it here. It's pretty much just a wide open space. One disadvantage of that though is that there's not really any dividers. So even right in the middle, you better know your neighbor, otherwise it might get a bit weird. Maybe if the back seat is a bit different. I didn't really notice that, but I can check later. And then also same with even the window seats. It's a pretty open setup. So there's no doors on my left. And yeah, my neighbor can see me and I can see my neighbor. Alrighty, we're up in the air. And in case you're wondering, it is a 1-2-1 configuration. And Mandy and I are right in the middle. Depending on where your seat is, you might either have the divider between you or on the sides, but the table, it's going to actually open up right over here. Not the biggest table, but it works. Also, I do like the wood tones of it. I actually think it's a piece of wood rather than just a plaster. Wow, that's a bit more impressive than I thought. The screen is not the biggest, but it is functional and it is less blurry, so less pixelated than the short haul planes. For context, this is an iPhone Pro Max. Like 1 1/3 up and 1, 2, almost 3 across, like 2 3/4 across. Hopefully that math makes sense. Okay, actually scrolling through the movies a bit more compared to the first flight, it's not bad, but the selection is not as deep as I would like. So there is new-ish stuff, but a lot of this was also available in the fall, so Q4 of 2024. And right now it's February 2025. So it's okay, but I've already watched a lot of these, and also it doesn't go that deep. Like, this is pretty much it. And I think I've watched all the ones I wanted to watch. I might actually watch Lord of the Rings again because I've really gotten into the rabbit hole for some of that stuff, but maybe it's not a good platform. If you don't want to reach forward, there also is a remote right over here. Probably more efficient as well. Speaking of which, there are some buttons to change the seats that we'll play with later on. Still waiting for food, so let's take a look at the amenities kit. So it does come in a green package, and it's from Asiana Perfumes. Agnia? I don't know. Ironically, I'm weirdly excited for this because I think it is usable for other stuff, so I could easily put USB cables and other knickknacks in there. Okay, inside there are a few things. Oh, not too bad. So you have a toothbrush and toothpaste, some socks, as well as eye mask. Socks are great if you are changing into slippers and you have stinky socks. Earplugs if you're trying to sleep. What's this? Oh, it's a fancy comb. Probably the fanciest comb I've seen. The fact that it comes in its own little leather bag or pleather bag. It's pretty nice. I feel like I'm not the greatest judge of combs because I don't really use combs. Okay, so this is the Asiana white products, and there's various stuff inside. So we have hand cream, facial cream, and also lip balm. Last but not least, we have headphones. These are also from Phaeton. Phaeton? I feel like I'm getting introduced to a lot of new brands today. So these are the same ones from the last flight as well, the short haul flight, and let's open them up. I didn't actually try them last time, so I'll try them after the meal. Appetizers are here. It's bread, so I would pick garlic bread, and also eggplant. Start with the garlic bread. Pretty garlicky, pretty good garlic bread. I feel like I don't have it that often because I know it's not good for me, but it is delicious. Next up is the eggplant. So it is pretty beautiful looking, but let's give it a taste. It's fine. Flavors are pretty subtle, so kind of like a pickled vibe, but very light pickle. It's okay. I don't think I'd order it normally. I feel like it would be very uninspired normally, but it's fine. It's good. Okay, let's try Mandy's appetizer. Right, pretty much just a salad. When he said lobster, I thought it was a piece of lobster with salsa on it, not lobster salsa. I think I still like Mandy's a bit better, but yeah, it's just not as impressive as it sounded on paper. It's fine, but I think Mandy would appreciate it more than me. Okay, meat's here and it looks amazing. I don't think I've had a meal like this on a plane before. So you basically have a bunch of veggies, you put rice and the meat inside and any other toppings you want, and you enjoy it. I have had this underground, just not up in the air. Let's open it up. So lots of different veggies that just fell out on the table, so we're good. Before that though, let's actually try the soup. Mandy doesn't look happy with her meal, so I'm kind of sad because I think she really wanted the Korean one and they ran out. Soup's okay. It is growing on me though. Pretty tasty, not really sure what else to say about it. It's like a nice healthy Asian soup. Almost a Korean version of miso soup. Okay, let's do a wrap. First one and super excited. It's pretty good, not bad, but I think the cut of beef could be a little bit better. Yep, not sure if that's kalbi, but I feel like if it was kalbi, it tastes a bit better. Just offered that one to Mandy, so let's make a better one. Yeah, it's not bad. The experience is really cool. So I definitely think for that, it's solid. I just feel like the meat could be more flavorful. So maybe again, different cut, more sauce, something different. I think I might have screwed up. There was actually a sauce I think I'm supposed to use. The bean paste was what was missing, and yeah, now it tastes pretty good. So user error on my end. In addition, there's also kimchi, an egg omelet, and what I mentioned earlier, the soup. Let's try the kimchi. Unsurprisingly, pretty good kimchi. Mandy has passed me a piece of chicken. It's actually a pretty good piece of chicken. I think I kind of like it better than mine. Wow. It has a nice spice to it too. Oh man. Mandy, I think I like yours better. Yeah, I think presentation can be improved on Mandy's dish. Presentation on this one, the Korean one's amazing. Hers kind of looks almost like an economy dish. Like it looks like someone threw up, but tastes really good. Like it actually is solid. To the point that I'm kind of tempted to switch with Mandy, but she's already done. Good to know. Let's try the egg. Yeah, pretty normal. Last is the wine that they had paired with the Korean dish. So this one is the cab. Yeah, pretty good. Even though Mandy's is super tasty, I think I would still opt for the Korean one, just given the experience. You never really get to do this on a flight, so it's just a vibe. If you don't want to eat off your hands though, if you don't want something messy, then stick with the normal dish right over there. This one is super fun. I think it might be a little red from the wine, even though I don't really feel it. Heading to dessert, we have fruit. First up is orange. Pretty normal orange. Apple. And pear. It's fine, but nothing to write home about. Apple is probably the sweetest one of the bunch and the best of the bunch. I was a bit disappointed with the Asian pear because I was expecting a lot from that one, but yeah, it's fine. Okay, so we're gonna try some Mandy's cheesecake. Actually, really good. I approve the Western dessert. So Mandy doesn't want the rest, so I'm finishing off. For the last item, we have some nuts and also a Korean pastry. Start off the nuts. Really good. This is the Korean one. Pretty good. Kind of similar to a mochi.
Standard is a 2-2-2 setup where you might have to hop over someone. This is a 1-2-1 where everyone has direct aisle access. The middle seats alternate between honeymoon and divorced. So if you are a solo traveler, be careful about which middle seat you take, otherwise you might as well be holding hands. The window seats alternate between aisle and window. If you have the choice, I'd opt for window. In terms of privacy, you don't really have much. No suite doors or anything like that. Even with the divorced seating, you have a mini slider, but it almost feels like they shouldn't have bothered. The seat is also comparably narrow, so if you're wide like me, it might feel a bit tight. For sleep, they don't provide any mattress toppers, so what you have is what you get. It's fine, but definitely not as plush as some other business class seats. We've already covered this, but the screen is tiny and older. Viewing angles are also pretty bad, so you're not going to see much laying down. So yes, it is a full lay flat seat, but there's a lot of room for improvement and feels like you traveled back in time. Bathroom is pretty normal and feels like the standard economy one. You have a full-length mirror, baby changing station, and toilet seat. Unlike some other Asian airlines, there's no bidet here. They do have a nice basket of amenities with things like mouthwash and lotion. Also a surprising number of razors and shaving cream. Mirror is also pretty sizable, and I like the lights that are built into it.
Okay, so this is about 3 hours before we land, and I ordered a snack. Diet Coke and a ham sandwich, which is pretty much a croissant cut in half with ham and cheese inside. It is toasted, which is a nice touch. At a minimum, a toasted croissant doesn't hurt, and yeah, pretty good. Actually, I like it. The other options are ramen and also jelly, but the jelly, they are out. Mandy did order the ramen though, and I'll try to get a taste. Okay, so the noodles too spicy for Mandy, so it's going to me. It kind of looks like the ones I make at home. Yeah, it tastes exactly like the ones I make at home. Pretty solid. Yeah, something about instant noodles up in the air always hits a bit different, and I think it scratches an itch that I always have. It's kind of like that late night itch. First up, we have grilled hummus with veggies. That's a grilled mushroom and actually tasted like it came off the barbecue grill. It is cold, so it's like you're refrigerated after a barbecue, but still pretty good. Like, you have the char flavor. Let's try the hummus. Hummus is pretty good too. Yeah, pretty simple dish, but it works really well. Definitely wouldn't think to order this normally, but pleasantly surprised. Next, we have the main, which is going to be fish with cream sauce. Let's give it a taste. Fish is well cooked, so it's not overdone at all. Flavor-wise, it's okay. So it has the creaminess, bit of tanginess as well, but also feels just very muted. So I feel like there could be something else. Second bite tastes better, but yeah, I feel like they could have a bit of lemon or something citrusy that would add a lot more to it, but not bad. Yeah, I don't know where my thoughts are on the fish. It's like texture-wise, it's good, prep-wise, it's good, but the flavors don't mix with me, so it's tough. I wouldn't get it again. I'd probably try something else. Also did end up getting orange juice. Pretty normal orange juice, like it came out of a carton, and also some bread. Bread is pretty good. Last up is dessert and coffee. So it is kind of a jelly with base at the bottom. So this is vanilla kiwi mousse cake. The mousse is pretty good. Kiwi is interesting. So it's kind of like a kiwi jelly on top. Consistency wise, it's a bit tougher than I thought it would be, or other jellies are kind of, but it's pretty good taste. There also are some gold flakes on top on one side, which kind of adds to it. It definitely grew on me. Yeah, pretty good. It's not too sweet, has a bit of that like tanginess to it. Second and third bite definitely grew on me, and yeah, I think that's pretty solid. I kind of wish the jelly broke apart a bit more easily rather than clumping together, but otherwise it tastes great. Okay, we just finished the meal. One nitpick I have is that I wish the table would actually go a bit closer to you. So it is pretty far away. You can't really pull it closer. This is the closest. So you pretty much have to slide forward to eat, which is fine, but just less convenient. Oh, also in terms of headphones, they're pretty solid for what they are. Obviously, there are better ones, but it was good enough that I didn't feel the need to grab my own. So it does a pretty good job covering your ear, and yeah, not too much noise leakage.
That wraps up our Asiana business class experience, flying short haul from Tokyo Haneda to Seoul Gimpo and long haul from Incheon to San Francisco. The short haul flight was what you'd expect. Efficient and no frills. Definitely not a premium cabin experience, but for a 2-hour hop, it did the job. For the long haul from ICN to SFO, I have mixed thoughts. If you're coming from economy, it's solid, but compared to other Trans-Pacific business class products, it feels comparably weak. The hard product is dated, there's not really any privacy, and the entertainment system was tiny. Maybe unfair, but it just brought me back to the early 2000s. The food was pretty good, but service was only okay. Your mileage may vary, but if it's about the same number of points, I'd probably save it for a different trip. If you're trading in for a steak, I'd probably skip the USDA Prime and wait for the A5 Wagyu. For this trip, we found a good deal since we were flying from Asia to US and just paid out of pocket. It was about $1,400 per person one way. You can typically book this for as low as 75,000 miles, which isn't bad. In our case, if we're not getting at least 2 cents per point, we'd rather just pay out of pocket and save our points for higher upside opportunities. Your mileage may vary depending on your goals and how many points you have. Again, if you want to learn about cards, we have links on the website asksebby.com and also down below in the description box. If you made it to this point, leave a steak emoji in the comments down below and I'll try to heart it and respond. Out of curiosity, what are your thoughts on this business class? Also, what are your favorite airlines when flying to Asia? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favorite, thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.